This was a 3v3 that I played recently. So fix the sound first. So it's a pretty long game, so I don't want to waste too much time here. So I'll just show you this is in the matchup. So it was Lucas's Brit against Gichtenlord's German, and in Nats, and I was port mirroring Fran just out of Nats, and to the right here, Killa MK was playing France against Sabusa's Dutch, and the one thing I want to point out is that he was like playing the no op, so-called no op version, no overpowered version of France, which is no gendarmes obviously, and no none of the cards that boost natives. Killer was playing out of Nats, so it doesn't matter. He is cheaper Nats because he picked the wrong deck, and you're supposed to not have any team cards, but for some reason, Killer picked a deck with team hand cav attack. I guess none of us noticed. But you're not supposed to have that card in a no overpowered deck, in a no overpowered France deck. My personal opinion on no overpowered France is that I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it might still be overpowered, like at least a little bit, because of the 120 pop army for 99 fill eco thing that they have going for them. And some very decent scrims, especially with these two cards. And oh, the artillery card is also. It's that people are on the fence about that. But okay, that's enough. And I'm not even gonna look at start armies because, like I said, I don't want to waste too much time. So let's just start. Yeah, so I was moving my corpse at 40. Fran just had his corpse sitting there, so that's how I was able to own him in the corpse fight. Yeah. So how did this go? I guess Lucas is being careful because of the 4 heavy cannons that Gichtenlord has. But you usually want to be aggressive in the first few minutes as Brit. I guess Lucas just doesn't want to get owned by heavy cannons. Gichtenlord actually won with corpse there. And so El Chapo won the start fight hard, which is what you'd expect for Dutch against almost any other civ. I also won the start fight hard because of the core fight. Should be using that mortar. So now let's kill the spamming hussars, and unless your opponent has like a ton of Reuters, it's usually good to make hussars against Dutch because like Reuters are not very good, are not a good unit. They take too long to kill hussars. And then kill the leftist scums unguarded. For some reason. He should have had like 5 goons or something. And yeah, I could easily mortar this, which I am doing, okay, looks like I'm doing right now. And yeah, now we see Lucas starting to push in. Gichtenlord still has 4 heavy cannons. He had a really good start. I don't know why he, yeah. And while you're taking the natives, you, like, may as well make natives from the post and send it into the native fight. Could also send it to your own fight, but native fight is usually the most, like, important. Holding natives is important, so. And the initial native spam can really help your teammate in, like, the first 2 minutes. So Lucas kept his rockets alive despite losing the Cold War. Or he kept 3 of them. And this number of war wagons is fine, and the reason it's fine is because he has 4 heavy cannons behind it. Normally it wouldn't be fine, but in this situation I would have. In this situation it's good. Looks like Killa's main unit was Hussar here. Sabusa's trying to be aggressive with Dutch. Not sure I'd recommend that when you have like, because Dutch can get so easily overrun by like 750 HP French Hussars. But they will be once he gets the cap HP code. So I immediately walled here. This is a good spot to mortar, which I think I do, and I think I do use it later. Yeah, as ports you should always be looking for spots to mortar from like that, if you can. And I'm also walled here, one of the first things I did. Another good flank to mortar from. I could even mortar Lucas's FB if he pushes and tries to get an FB there. Meleeed Musk. I don't like Musk as French, and here's why. Like, oh yeah, even for the overpowered France, they only have 1 code. They only have 1 code upgrading them, which is the ranged cap attack, and so now they have 0 codes upgrading them. But for goons, you have like cav combat, which affects all cav. So it's like 1 code upgrading goons versus 0 codes upgrading musks. Like French musks are so like 337 HP and 49 attack. Compare that to a Brit musk, which is like 400 HP once all codes are out and 58 attack. Lucas has a tendency to stack codes, I've noticed. It's one of his few mistakes that he makes fairly consistently. And the Ville standing idle next to fattened livestock, that happens in lag sometimes. It's annoying. Gichtenlord has been doing very good keeping his starting heavy cannons alive. Baiting these corps here, Lucas is gonna lose at least 2. He could even port back even more and not lose it. But either way, it's a good trade. 3 corps for a heavy cannon, it's a good trade for Gichtenlord. And yeah, I am using that flank now to hit for inside stables there. And I also have a mortar up here. So I have mortars in really good spots right now. 1 on each side. Yeah, I think the best thing for Sabusa to do here would be to like tower up with artillery, because he's just gonna get overrun by Hussar if he keeps trying to push like this. Killa spamming Hussars and this like murdering his Zico. I think he'd lose either way just because of the matchup though. It's not a fair matchup. So it's good to see both players mixing in artillery now that their starting rockets and heavy cannons have been dealt with. And Lucas massing corpse here because it's well, I guess 5 isn't really massing. Whatever. Oh, Fran is also would have flanking me. Um, These vills have insane speed because of the Northwest Passage cut, and he also got the Vill speed treasure. Like, these 20 Hussars, and Sabusa has no more than... He only has 20 Reuters. He's gonna get overrun hard by these Hussars. He needs, like... He's making Hussars of his own to block, but... If it turns into a Hussar versus Hussar war, then Dutch just loses because of eco. If it turns into a Skirm Huss versus Skirm Reuter war, then Dutch just loses by getting overrun. So that's why, after playing a few Dutch games, I think the best option for Dutch is to just tower. Like, against civs with strong Hussars, that just tower and defend with artillery. I think that's the only way of cost-effectively dealing with Hussars. These are very well-positioned mortars. Imagine if they were port mortars. That would wreck Gichtenlord's FP. Of course, Gichtenlord should just deal with it with Corvs. And again, both players having horse artillery out. It's not going to be much to nitpick with either one of these fights, I'm pretty sure. Gichtenlord's bill count looks good. Lucas has a slight score advantage. He started with a slight score advantage. And, okay, Gichtenlord's getting overrun here. It's because he lost all his embassies, and so now he's getting overrun by the native spam. Yeah, as soon as you lose one embassy, you need to rebuild it as soon as possible, because you can only make 3. Killa mixing horse artillery. It's brutal. Sabusa taking the TP, which is good. Dutch need all the eco they can get. Taking the TP and upgrading it fully. I don't think Sabusa's been making enough Reuters this game for Killa's Hussar spam. Like, again, I think he should just make 7 towers, but he also needs more Reuters than just like 20 to deal with 20 Hussar spams. Like, it's Huss on Skirm right now. Oh, you know what it is? It's probably his Nola instincts, because in Nola, Skirms do pretty decently against Cav, and Cav spams don't like this usually don't work. But on Asian dynasties, they balanced and fixed that. Like, yeah, and Sabusa played a lot of Nola before he came to TAD Asian dynasties in full, which I guess was like 2013. So maybe he still has some. Now his Reuter count looks better, anyway. He needs some horse artillery, because Skirm on Skirm, Dutch loses that as well. Against 324 HP Skirms, whereas there's is only 300, Dutch should get. Well, I guess it's bounced out by the attack, but again, it's eco. So equal Skirms, but Dutch have a worse eco. Again, I don't really like the Musk, especially with how many Skirms Sabusa has been making this game. Lucas has a nice push going. And Gichtenlord should have his 3 embassies set up right by now. Yeah, he does. I'd queue a few dops, because you see him getting overrun by Huminka Hussar. Not this many war wagons. This should be cut in half at the very least. Good that he's towering. He should actually make more towers. Like, half of these war wagons should be invested into DOP and scum. DOPs can be good if you're getting... A few DOPs can be good if you're getting overrun by human Kahusser, but obviously too many will drain you. Right back to the port mirror. Yeah, you should always be reviving your explorer. He tanks a lot. Like, even without the 3 explorer card, you should still be using just the 1 explorer to throw it into your opponent's army and tank it. Like, look how much this is tanking. It's pushing Fran's pushing forward with a huge castle mass, but without any goons behind it. And I go the opposite way. I tend to make too many goons, but I haven't really seen that this game. Sabusa's just drained now, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's completely out. He can't keep pop-up anymore. Killa... so he has to go back and probably ask for resources. Gichtenlord's war wagon count. I have yet to see a single DOP. A few DOPs would probably be alright here. Although there's not any hussars right now, I mean, like... Or whatever. In general, if you're getting pushed in by a Brit, a few DOPs can be good. Yeah, Lukas should have more mortars. He should be queuing one right now. Look how close this FB is. On the other hand, like, Gich is like pushed up against his FB. He can't really go back, which is good for Muskas, but it's usually better to just mortar. Like, he has 1 mortar, which is good, but I think he should have like 3. Yeah, because of how close up Gichtenlord's FB is. His food count is low, but that's fine because he has 62 vills on food. He probably like macroed a bit late, which is a very, very, very common and very easy mistake to make with Brits and natives. Okay, Fran's comp looks pretty good right now. 2 Bs behind Gichtenlord. Although I wouldn't recommend 21 games when your opponent has like nearly no hussars. Sabusa should either A, like, go back behind his walls, or B, ask for resources rather than fighting with 100 out of 200 pop. And Killa, his push seems to be pretty slow. Like, his opponent can't keep pop up. He should be pushing a lot harder. Like, if your opponent can't keep pop up for whatever reason, you should be pushing. And these musks were free, by the way. I'm starting to like the infinite 10 musk shipment. Fran has 7 towers up. which is good, I guess. It'll make it harder for me to push. Oh, I haven't looked at this right in a while. Lucas is starting to mix longbowmen, which is good in a choke. Just like a few longbowmen to supplement his composition. What I see a lot of players do sometimes is they like a lot of weaker brit players, they completely switch to longbowmen. They try to use longbowmen as their main unit or go longbow goon or something. Pretty sure it's best to just do like must guard or must cav with like 10 or 15 longbows mixed in. Though I could be wrong. Although there are probably a few situations where going like 50 longbowmen would be good. Like in Nourish 55 maybe, if you're camping. Yeah. Where's Killa's army? Like, even though he's helping here, he's helping here with like 20 units, so there's not an excuse for him to allow his pop to completely drop to 0 up here. Like, sabusa still can't keep pop up. Like, if Killa were to keep producing units here, he would keep sabusa low, and yeah. And he has he has a bunch of resources, so I don't know why he doesn't just keep fighting here. Port mirrors are kind of snooze bests sometimes. Although it was a lot worse when before we banned 3 explorers. And it was just like the explorer spam prevented any pushing, and then it was just whoever's explorers were in a better position, they'd win the mirror. And I guess it could be kind of interesting, but yeah. Also kind of boring. Yeah. Kind of boring because it's like impossible to push. So Lucas is in a choke and he's getting 2v1. I guess this is why he's massing all this longbowmen. Which begs the question, why doesn't Gichtenlord just make 10 or 20 Ulan? I think it would just like run over this, right? This is probably one of the few situations where going 50 longbowmen is good, just because of the choke, and he has good walls, and because of how the clips are set up. You could probably put like 10 longbowmen here to randomly snipe units. I don't know. It looks like he's doing that. These 5 longbowmen are just gonna like, sit behind the cliff wall here. Yeah, don't fight suicidal Corv battles like that. Like, don't fight your opponent's 4 Corverins if you only have 2 Corverins. Like, even if you have really good micro, it's usually not gonna work. So it looks like Sabusa's pop is going back up. And Sabusa has to push now, actually, because Killa MK is up here with his army. With, like, a lot of pop. What happened to Fran's Castador mass? Just disappeared, I guess. He's requeuing it right now. Oh, it probably got organ gunned down, I guess. Heavy cannons are also a good way to kill a longbowman mass, because one heavy cannon shot kills like 10 longbows, but I think Ulans would do very good here. Other than Huminka's, Lukas has no anti-cav. Yeah, it's good to like melee calls with the Explorer to slow them. Lukas is just playing a kiting game with his longbowmens. So he's actually able to like keep Gichtenlord's score low, even though he's getting 2v1. Because neither player is making a single handicap unit. Can't just let longbows sit there and kill your skirms. Like, longbowmen's beat skirms, like, almost any skirm. That is until they Brits run out of wood, but with good macro that usually won't happen. Like, Lucas still has 5k. You need to either make artillery or hussars, or preferably both, to break a longbowman mass. 10 Ulans. 10 Ulans. Oh my god. It's getting to the point where it's painful to watch. I'm sorry. Longbowman equal. Why does he just make. He could just make Ulan. He has like 14 war wagons, and like half of those at least should be Ulan. Because 26 Huminkas, they kill Cav pretty effectively, but they can't cover all flanks. It probably had those musks there ahead of time, because of course Fran is going to try to husblank my mortars. That's what he does. Looks like Killa just came back here. He had to respond to Sabusa's push here. So he came back in full. Some good heavy cannon shots from Gichtenlord. But yeah. Sabusa has been below 200 for like the past 10 minutes. And it's getting kind of ridiculous. Like, I think he should just ask for a feed at this point. It's not really any shame in asking once for a feed with Dutch. Though it's a whole nother thing if he did ask and just didn't get it. I don't know. Because everyone on his team was kind of low, I guess. Long movement, and I guess sabusa came here at this point. And this is one of the harder parts of commentating a 3v3. Like, in addition to commentating the fights, like, you also have to commentate the strategic team play aspect of it. So I guess Sabusa came here because he figured he wouldn't be able to do anything to kill his army here. He would just keep getting overrun by hussars. So he tried to make something happen here. And so I guess it'll be interesting if Killa responds by pushing here or helping up here or both. Looks like Killa wants to go for a push up here. He wants to force Sabusa to keep making pop up here. Now they're getting overrun because Lukas is making like 10 hussars and Sabusa is like 50 scones behind it. Now this is a situation where having a bunch of war wagon would actually be useful. Okay, there we go. Yeah, against this many skirms, like probably the only thing to do is make to kill it is using heavy cannons because with 50 skirms and then the musk coming in and the humikas, hussars probably won't do much. Like in 2v2 situations, Cav usually doesn't do much. This cove I made, I think it's like in a good position simply because no one noticed it. And just snipe its rocket. These musk move up. There we go. So, Gichtenlord was broke here. So he filled up, which is, I guess it's good when you have a low score to fill up, but like, he should also just like ask for coins so that he can hold this. Pretty sure I had coin. Yeah, I had some coin, I guess. Looks like Killa, but speaking of coin, it looks like Killa switched to coin in time so that he wouldn't like run out. Which is good. His resource distribution looks really good right now. France, like unlike other fur trade civs, doesn't really die once they run out of coin. They have 4 coin cards, so their coin gathering is still really good. Yeah, you have a Brit army plus 50 skirms. That's really hard to kill. So Gichtenlord making horse artillery is correct response here. He doesn't really have any heavy cannons out. He doesn't have enough heavy cannons out to beat this down. And yeah, so I wanted to use this flank to like kill their FB and slow their push, but it looks like they didn't even have much FB there to kill in the first place. Helping with mortars. Forcing people to send pop here. This is all good things to do to like help team down here. Still putting organ guns behind them. I wanted to wall this. Would have been funny if I had been able to wall this. It looks like Killa, in response to the massive doubling from Sabusa down here, decided to just push up here. And once again, Sabusa is broke. And he can't keep pop up. He should just ask for resources. Honestly. How did those Musk get up there when Fran's army is down here? And speaking of Fran, he needs to be pushing now. It's funny, Killa was sieging Sabusa's buildings with skirms, so Sabusa just spawned 20 hussars on top of it. Which is not something you wanted that happened to you if you're at 1,300 eco. Yeah, it looks like this FB is gonna die really fast, and Killa's gonna force him in behind his walls. Scrim should move up. Organs are a really good unit to help with. Like, actually every unit Port can make are good for team fights. Okay, I definitely don't like this many Musk. Like, he's not even making any goons at all. Like, France is not a civ you can Musk cuss with because their muskets are weak. They're just so weak. And don't let this happen to you, by the way. Like, gather your coin crates. Yeah, ports are an incredible team civ. Mortars and organs can stop like any push, and yeah, I had like one Vil up here that they didn't notice, so I just sent it to build a foundry. And then I just started spawning instant P-turds, which you'll see soon. Looks like I didn't even notice it was done, this much less them noticing that it was there. Okay, now I noticed. Just in time for Fran to come up there. Yeah, if you ever get an artillery foundry behind your opponent's FB by some miracle and you want to blow up your opponent's FB very fast, P-TARs are the way to do it. Aw, Lucas actually still had an embassy. That makes me really sad. I thought I had blown up all his embassies. But it's very far back. I killed all his forward embassies. And I killed all his forward barracks and stables as well, from the looks of it. So obviously make pushing a lot harder. And this scum mass looks pretty scary, but we have a lot of artillery. We had a lot of artillery behind our army here. I think we were fine. Looks like I opted not to push up here when Fran jumped to the natives. Just decided to keep pouring pop into the natives to hold them. Oh no, I remember this now. The thing I did as a result of all three players jumping to the natives and pouring pop into the natives here was I decided to jump up here. Because with all their pop up here, they're gonna have a hard time reacting to a jump here. In time. Like, they'd probably have to delete they'd probably have to delete units. Oh, Fran was up there before me. I didn't realize that when I was playing. And Fran should make organs and mortars up here. Okay, it looks like he is making mortars. You usually don't have to ask Fran to make mortars, he just makes them. But yeah. Lucas sending his humancas up here to mid is smart because they're gonna be useless in this skirmisher artillery war we have going in the natives. Yeah, Fran has 42 castles, which is why I decided a full jump here would be beneficial. Now the risk of doing a jump is that it doesn't work and then they push up the natives. But that didn't seem likely because they're massing skirms. Like if they were massing hussars and melee units, which I guess then the push here probably would have been a lot more threatening, but it's just like a bunch of skirms and artillery. Me and Killa both had mortars, and I remember telling him to kill the walls and telling him I would get the buildings. Because his mortars do more damage. Wait, what? Did he not send that artillery card? Oh, it doesn't affect mortars, I see. Weird. Looks like Lucas actually did make hussars up here, which is good. They needed it. Try to push. And now they're about to like get in, so why didn't sabusa just ask for resources? Um, Sabusa did do good in that when Killa had to help in the natives, and he was the only one helping in the natives, Sabusa was able to push him up and drain him and bring his score low, make his score low, but he spent most of the game playing with less, not playing at full pop. Which is obviously not ideal. They're still massing skirms and longbows. I guess they need to make corves to deal with the heavy cannons and the organ guns before they push. I remember specifically aiming for banks here because banks are... Because I know they're a pain in the ass to rebuild, but they're an important part of the Dutch eco, so... Because they're fairly expensive to rebuild, and... They cost like 350 food, 350 coin, and yeah. So what ended up happening when I jumped, Fran has to come back with all his army, Lucas has to come back with all his army. Well, not all his army, but a bunch of it. And that let us push up the natives, take back the natives. Oh, another reason banks are such a pain to rebuild is they build so slowly, so you lose a lot of coin if you lose a bank. Cause, yeah, yeah. This was annoying. We were in here, but we couldn't push because we got 2v3'd. It was me and Killa against all three of them. I don't like the muskets again. And again, Dutch is playing with such a low eco. Gichtenlord's heavy cannon mass looks good now. Yeah, we had all three of them on us. Brit, Dutch. We were still trying to push for some reason. Guess we kind of overcommit. I guess we were overcommitting here. We should just back now, because we've accomplished what we wanted. All three of them had to come here, and now that's letting us take back natives. But when I jumped here, I kind of expected the game to be over. I expected us to just destroy Sabusa's base and expected that to be that. I didn't expect them, all three of them, to come in full and for them to hold it. And yeah, this should be walled. It's good to see Killa mixing horse artillery against this. Oh, that's annoying. Oh my god, that's annoying. Like, I can't get it behind my goons because this barracks and this stable was in the way. There's nothing else going on here, but there's still a little, like, battling for position here. Like, I'm occasionally sending Musks here, and Fran's sending Hus here to... Because Fran's sending Hus here to, like, try to prevent me from walling it up. This would be a good spot for port mortars from Fran. And at this point, it's not just Sabusa's fault for not asking for resources, because, like, if I saw a teammate that had only 1,000 score, I would be feeding him resources. Like, Fran has plenty of coin, Lucas has plenty of food. Well, not plenty, but... I guess it's more on Fran to feed, because Lucas is also low, because he's playing in natives. But still, if I were Lucas, I would send like 2k of each to Sabusa. Oh my god, look how low he is. He can only keep 50 pop out at a time. Oh, this is something Lucas and or Fran could have done. They could have gone down here and killed Gichtenlord's second while they were like trying to push up here with... And while they hit the first net down, I think that would have also made their push a lot more threatening. I don't like the maps. Yeah, now we've already forced Lucas to be here in full. So Gichtenlord can just push up here. And I remember this. Gichtenlord like saw Lucas walling up the natives, so he decided to just build up here and try to like join the 3v3 fight. Because the push here would take too long with Lucas walling it up. Or at least that's what he figured. I guess Lucas got Humikas down here by going through here. good play by him. It'll distract Gichtenlord and slow down the push here so he can continue putting pop up here. And Gichtenlord has an FB here now, but I think at this point it was kind of too late because they already have this huge skull mass and they're already gonna push out. How did that happen? 3 more Huminkas. Yeah, I saw them using that thing, so I mortared it down to take care of it. None of Gichtenlord's natives are dying anyway, so I don't think it matters. This is so boring right now. I think we decided to, we decided to just go back here rather than continuing to have units die against this insane skirt mass. It's kind of unfortunate for us because Chapo's eco was starting to come back at this point. Yeah, he built banks up here. It's funny. I guess because they're dying, and if there's no oil, I don't know. Now I'm getting tired. Damn. And yeah, so then after I decided to just not fight this. Like rather than trying to fight this, I decided to just start pushing mid again so that I could again start beating Fran. Because Fran has the FB here, so he's going to be the one reacting to me. So I decided to just continue to just start a 1v1 fight again. Rather than continuing to fight this team fight that we would potentially lose because of how big their skirt mass and artillery because how big their massive units is here. So Fran was nice enough to finally feed him. He should like queue back up to 200. I don't think he has enough resources actually to queue to 200. But still, I don't know why he just stopped making units here. Like, I wonder if he was actually AFK for a bit. Because he has a lot of resources, but he's still at 77 out of 200. Oh, he just queued 10 skirms, but still, I don't get it. Maybe it's the lack. Oh yeah, it's definitely the lack of FB. He doesn't have enough FB to queue back up. He only has 1 barracks, and then 1 barracks up here. So they rewalled, which was good. These walls look really nice. I wonder if focusing on walls is what Sabusa was doing instead of like training units. The hussars versus the scums. Lucas also sending hussars. Damn, sabusa was for the longest time below 200, even though he had the resources to queue up to 200 pop. And it's very confusing to me. Oh, Fran was out of food here. That's probably why I was able to push him. Like, Fran was just out of food. Which makes sense, because not counting Blood Brothers, his score is only 1,300. Having pop up here is dangerous when Killa is we have Killa up here. He has Killa to deal with up here. I would probably just like shove this forward so that it dies or something. I don't know. Although it looks like he has it locked down for now, I guess. Dude, the Dutch, like, Lucas is yellow playing British and Sabusa is orange playing Dutch. Their buildings look exactly the same. It's like, legit almost no difference between how their buildings look. To me, at least. And yeah, this is why he's getting pushed back. He's getting pushed back into his base. That's why I said having so much pop up here is dangerous. Random 3-minute musk. I don't know why I did that. So as I sent mortars up here again because I noticed Killa about to push into his base, and I could make the push a lot faster with port, and the push would be a lot faster and more threatening with port mortars behind it. And in the meantime, I'm like trying to push Fran up here, beat him back. Fran has, I think, too many goons right now. Fran's compositions look weird. He sometimes has too many goons, sometimes he doesn't have enough, and it's probably little mistakes like that that lose him mirrors. And just like before, I was more aiming for his buildings here. They do have towers up here. Most of them are Fran's. I think Sabusa should be making towers up there as well, especially if he's gonna like try sending pop up here. Towers would probably help him hold. One of the things I noticed is about Fran. He's a I guess he's not as good at 1v1 fighting, but he's still he's still a good team player, and he usually has a good sense of where his pop needs to be, and where his army needs to be. Like, we see him trying to FB up here to, like, flank our FP here, and because he sees us pushing in. But yeah, there's not much he can do when he has no food. And I think it's just over here, because we have a 1200 score, 1100 score, and 1300 score, and our scores are much higher. Like, I'm at 1800, which is a lot higher than anyone else in the game. Pushing up Fran here, pushing up Sabusa here, holding against Luke, perfectly fine against Lucas here, with a score advantage and stuff. So yeah, I was just over at this point. I think I might just fast forward it. I don't have much else to say about this game. So yeah, I feel like the top team here lost this game mostly because Sabusa spent the majority of the game playing below 200 pop. Like, if you don't have enough resources and oh, that happens, yeah. And I get unable to allocate memory when playing recorded games. I'm using game capture, so I have to open the game. I actually have the game open to be able to show the screen. Okay, but yeah, I think they lost that game because they spent the majority of the game below 200 pop. Or Sabusa did, I mean. Like, he should have just asked for resources so that he could keep pop up, and then he would have more of an army presence, and I think they would have had a better chance then. And also when they were pushing down at the natives, I feel like the push wasn't as threatening as it could have been if they'd been making more melee units and or mortaring the natives from the other flank that I mentioned earlier. But this is a lot hard without you being able to use the map. Just open the record game again. So I'm almost done anyway. Like, if they had flanked the native from here and had more melee units up here, I think their push would have been much more of a threat. Could have been more of a threat. Maybe they could have had all 4 natives. But I think the main problem was Sabusa just not being able to keep pop up for the majority of the game. For a majority of the game. Killa, I didn't see many problems with Killa's gameplay except too many musk, in my opinion. Gichtenlord, when he was fighting Lucas, he had too many war wagons. He often at times had too many war wagons, and then when Lucas switched to longbows, I almost never saw Gichtenlord making Ulan. Okay, I think I'm done now.